Well, we were just talking about the pendulum of karma before this fight. That was just a light little chat we had right before the start.
Oh, yeah. Really, it was light.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it kind of was, but yeah, it's the Libra New Moon. I really got to tell you, I typically really like the energy of Libra season, and maybe it's because I'm a Libra stellium. I don't know if that's how it works or not, but I do feel like
Sure.
this time of year people, I don't know if it's like everything just feels a little more balanced to me. The energy, like the fall energy coming in feels nice and we're ready for it after a hot summer. Like I don't know what it is, but genuinely always love Libra season. Do you feel
It's
that way or is
peaceful.
that just me?
Don't you have a Taurus rising?
Yeah. Oh yeah, so I'm all about
Okay.
Venus and Libra.
It's peaceful. It's Venus.
Yeah, it's Venus. Okay. So Venus is the ruling planet for Taurus and Libra. So that's like
Yeah.
basically my whole chart. Okay. Interesting.
But for Taurus, it's all about values and joy and pleasure. And for Libra, it's all about relationships.
Right.
But Libra is much more cardinal, which means it's much more assertive on getting the relationship it wants,
Mm-hmm.
and they act peaceful.
Right. Libra's a little deceiving that way, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but that's a freaking lie too.
Right. Yeah, Libra likes to appear very peaceful, not
Oh
rock the
yeah,
boat, all of those
peace at
things.
any price. And
Yeah.
as soon as you turn your back, buddy, the sword comes out.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's interesting that you brought that up because have typically thought in the past, oh, Libra is like such a gentle energy. And I'm like, oh, no, it's not. I
No,
mistook that
Taurus is a
one.
gentle energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about I was reading your outline and I love this new way that you're doing it where there's all the different energy patterns happening. But let's first start with what's happening with, we had a Virgo eclipse, we have a new moon coming in. And
So
again,
how did you do with that Virgo eclipse?
it really rocked me a little bit. Not gonna lie.
What?
It rocked me. Like, I can't tell if it was the Pisces eclipse or the Virgo or just the combination of all the things, but the last now it's been 3.5 weeks. It's just been wild. There's just feels like that thing of where there's one thing after another. I have sustained myself, but it's just definitely there's been a lot of chance for the up and down emotional kind of volatility around me.
Well, and that's what I said last month when I was talking about that Virgo eclipse is um, recognize that worldly conditions are unstable
Yeah.
and the importance in finding and maintaining one's own inner footing and purpose and maintain the focus in the midst of chaos. See, that's one of the hardest things. Do you realize you cannot defeat mass consciousness or mob consciousness? I'm sorry. If you allow yourself to get into a crowd that gets into mob consciousness, you cannot defeat that energy because it overtakes you.
Mm.
Think of that.
No, it makes sense.
Yes. And so this is what we're all trying to do for the next 6 months, since that was an eclipse, is stay out of the mob consciousness.
It's so interesting. God, every time we do these podcasts, it's so fascinating to me to connect it to what's happening universally or out in the collective. And obviously, I think after we did our last podcast, Marv, and you talked about the stuff coming in, all the stuff happened with Charlie Kirk being assassinated. And what's been so interesting for me about that, it was obviously a very sad experience, no matter what side of the political scale you stand on. I think we all can agree that shouldn't be happening in our world, but it is, unfortunately. And what I'm starting to see collectively is that everyone's getting fed up. I think it started very heavily with like, well, this was the right and this was the left. And now, as a little bit of time is going by, I'm seeing more people kind of go, wait a second, this is a bigger issue that we have on a whole. And we're
Yeah.
starting to maybe not buy in all the way to we have to be this side or you have to be that side. And it's been so lovely to me to see even a small little bit of that start to come into the narrative.
I had a dream, and what I was shown in the dream is I was floating above the clouds,
Mhm.
and it says, "This is where you need to ascend to accept what's going on the ground." And it showed me the capital of the United States and looked down on it. And it said, that's how you deal with it. You look down as an observer of what's going on.
Instead of
So we
getting all
have to
mixed
just
up in it.
rise above and just look at it as an observer.
Yeah.
We don't have to internalize it. We don't have to argue it. We don't
Yeah.
have to do any of that, because all our job to move to a higher level of consciousness is to just to be above it
Mm.
and look down on it. It's not that we're disconnecting. We're not disconnecting by observing it and going through the process. So it's again giving us an opportunity to rise to a higher level of consciousness so we can just observe it without getting emotionally caught up.
I will, yes. Like, I have to give my boyfriend this credit. He's an Aquarius, so I think you'll appreciate this, but he's always operated that way with politics, and so he'll watch me kind of get, swirled up, and I'm just like, "Oh," just so worked up and frustrated. This was happening more back around when the election. Why is it
I
so
bet
funny to
I
you?
bet he smiles at you a lot too.
I don't know if he just smiles. He just kind of is like, "Okay."
You don't say it, he's hiding.
I don't know if he's smiling. I think he just kind of is like, "Okay." Like, "Okay, there she goes. She's going. She gone." But yeah, so I started my last couple years feeling that way and just feeling like I think a lot of people feel, again, regardless of what side you're on, I think we all are like, "How do they not see this?" Like we have that
Yeah.
mentality. And he helped me because the way he would say it is just like, you know, I literally observe people on both sides saying the exact same thing about the other side. And so he's never been as much of a emotionally attached person to one side or the other as me because he's like, both sides are fucked up. So, like, we just need to observe from like what you're saying, which is a very Aquarius, like detached. Let's just think about on the whole, like the collective here and not necessarily giving so much energy to every single news article that comes out that's trying to do exactly what it's doing and get you fired
Yeah, I
up.
mean, I wouldn't waste my energy on trying to get involved in that.
I've
I
stopped
don't
now.
I mean, I'm people interested, just like you.
Yeah.
I know you're people
Yes, I
interested.
am.
And when you're interested in people, it's just a matter of either holding space for them to download or just listening and understanding that they're processing as you're holding the space for them.
Hmm.
Because so many people don't have the ability to have somebody hold space and let them download without getting into an argument about it.
It's so
And so
true.
there's no point in arguing about it because you're above it. You're observing it. So it's just like just like you're talking about what he's like, is that he's above it. So he doesn't have to argue about it, but he can hold space
Yeah, he
for
does for
somebody to
me.
down because it works for you.
Yeah, sometimes I've got to have the download and I've got to get it out. You know me. Like
Right.
I have to. That is a part of me too. It's this need
Yes.
to get it out. But
But
yeah,
and
it's
that's the
nice to have a
thing.
space.
You're processing it not only in this lifetime, but you're processing all other lifetimes simultaneously. So that's why the processing is so important.
Hmm.
And you can process quicker, better, and faster when you stay objective and stay out of the mob psychology and the chaos.
Makes sense to me.
Wrap that up. So let's go into the Aries new moon.
Okay. Wait, is it an Aries new moon or full
No,
moon?
Aries full moon.
See that okay, those three words together scare the fuck out of me. I'll be honest. Aries full moon. I'm like, what?
Well, you're Aries karma.
Yeah.
It's your Pisces moon.
Mhm. Aries has haunted
But I
me my
mean,
whole life.
the meaning behind this full moon is applying intuition in an action plan. And that's what Aries is all about.
Action.
Instincts. They follow instincts more than they follow what's happening in front of them
Mhm.
or the actions or whatever's going on. And that's what those should do. They, when Aries become need counseling, it's because they're being sucked into the drama of physical realities. And they're not following their intuition, which is an instinct, which operate in the moment. So
Mhm.
their job is to stay in the moment. So isn't that what we're talking about when we're talking about this whole psychology and social psychology is stay in the moment, follow the instincts, stay above it, and don't get sucked into it. And so um, we've got to learn how to develop the analysis behind the scenes.
Okay.
And so that's the fact gathering mission of this full moon, or yeah, full moon. And then when we have our facts, then when we understand and we're set, then we can fight for our beliefs if necessary.
That feels very
So
Aries. Because an Aries isn't gonna just sit back and take it in or
no,
whatever. That is the
and,
opposite
and,
of Aries.
and look at what we're waging war against: liars and traitors.
Yeah. I
I
mean, I'm
mean,
not laughing. I'm only laughing because it's just if people try to tell me ever, "Oh, astrology, like, you're not in," I'm like, "Okay, it is literally mapping this all out. This crazy chaos that you think is so unpredictable is actually written in this map if you just wanted to follow it."
or you could read my book.
Or you could read your book. There you go. Okay, so we're waging war against liars and traitors.
Yes.
It feels like we've been building towards that already.
So you're keeping your own counsel.
Mm.
See, that's the important part of all of this, full. Keep your own counsel instead of being a team player.
Well, that's Aries too,
A
right?
team player would make you put you on a competitive side. Would
Yeah.
you don't want to be on a competitive side?
You just worry
You're
about
not a
you.
team player. You've got your own counsel, your own intuition, your own instincts. And that's what this Aries full moon is about. Now, the energy patterns is staying grounded in emotional conditions. And this is the thing, as Saturn goes back into Pisces, this is the test of severance. This is the last sign in the zodiac. And when Saturn, the disciplinarian or the establishment of reality, is learning how to just let go and turn it over to God
Mm.
or the universe or whatever you want to call it. So we're all in a letting go pattern right now. And Saturn is um, this is a 30-year cycle, basically. So you're letting go of 30 years of your life right now.
That's a lot. I mean,
Well,
it's a
yeah, it's
lot
a
of like
lot.
well, it's a lot of unlearning to do
For
too.
you, it's the basic adulthood of your life.
Yeah.
For
I would,
me, it was my midlife crisis.
yeah.
Okay. So you're letting go of 30 years now. And so it's you identifying too personally with others' troubles. And this is just what we're talking about, what we talked about earlier. Stop identifying with the troubles. Either hold face, but don't get involved in their shadow and their conflict.
Mhm.
So you don't identify with it. You don't identify with a lot of the problems that people talk to you about. I mean, they come to me because I totally don't identify with it.
Mhm. Well, you can hold space and not identify, like you said.
Yes. And so it's the need to let go of the past. That's where we're at. That's what this Aries moon is. And of course, a good Aries don't get caught up in the past
No,
'cause it's always
it's
moving
move
forward.
forward. Mhm.
Yeah. And so that's the beauty of this Aries full moon is let go, let God. And of course, I love looking at not just planets. I like looking at the asteroids as well. Estrella is a very powerful um uh, what do you call her? Well, she was the last goddess
Okay.
to leave the earth
Okay.
and take her position in the heavens with all the other gods left in mythology. Estrella held on to the very last. So it was a time of moving for humanity, moving out of the golden age to the iron age and all the corruption that the iron age brought in. And so Estrella finally in a huff because she realized she wasn't going to turn humanity around back to the golden age. So she left and she
Mm.
took her place in the heavens. So in other words, Estrella is always about hanging on too long and looking for it's that struggle to be between living up to the cosmic truth versus being pulled down into earthly imperfections. So when she couldn't when she couldn't stay in that cosmic universe, she had to leave the imperfections of humanity to itself. And so this is where we're at because Estrella is squaring Venus in this moon chart. So we all have got to look at any kind of um, imperfections and accept the imperfections and fallacy of humanity and deal with it from a place of letting it go.
Isn't this like integrating your shadow like we were talking about?
Yes, it
Yeah.
most certainly is.
Hmm.
And then Estrella is also squaring Saturn, which
Okay.
means your vision of fairness must include forgiveness, of compassion, and the acceptance of human frailty.
Mm.
And see, Estrella had a hard time with that. She couldn't do it when she was, the goddess over the golden age. And man moved into the iron age. She had a hard time with accepting the frailty of the human the human drama. And of course, the big one for this full moon is Pluto squares Mercury.
Yeah,
You see what I wrote?
he wrote in bold, secrets, 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 lies, lies, and more lies.
Okay. And it's Mercury, so it's going to be about business, communications, travel, transportation, intelligence and spy communities, politics, and personal relationships.
You mean we're gonna
All of those are going to be brought to bear with Mercury. Because Mercury is what? Mercury is the connection between, it's the healer, but it's also the connection between the drama
Mhm.
and the higher level of awareness.
I always thought Mercury was about communication.
It is communications, travel,
Okay, so
but
communications is just one part of it. Okay.
yes. So it's communicates also brothers and sisters and short journeys and
Mm.
early education and those type of things. So when you're talking about Mercury, which is the caduceus symbol, it's the healer.
Mhm.
It's because this is how we as frail humans can connect to our higher self
Mm.
is through Mercury. And that's how we can heal. So at this point, we have discovered quantum healing and quantum physics. So, in other words, that's part of the transition And that's what Pluto's bringing up as well, is bringing up the shadow issues to see the lies, the deceit, the secrets, the shadows that we all hold. And it's exposing them into, so that we can take them into our bodies, so that now we can heal the body by moving into the quantum realm and losing our sense of individual identity and allowing the universe of perfection to heal us when we're in that space. How beautiful is that?
I mean, it is beautiful. It still sounds like a lot of just letting go.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
But now it's not just a letting go from a conscious perspective. It's letting go of an identity.
Mhm.
And that's the big piece of it. You see, we all identify with our shadows, with all of our
Mhm.
stuff, the lies we tell ourselves, the belief systems that we believe and live in.
Mhm.
All of these aren't true. I mean, when you start studying those higher realms, there are no belief systems. What do you have to? I mean, you're in universal consciousness. There's no belief. It's creation. You create whatever you believe. Think about that. I told somebody here, a client here about a month ago, I said, "Go away your beliefs. There are no beliefs. They're just lies." But she looked like I had two horns, so I quit saying that.
I think, yeah, like a way that I say it to people is, programming is a big word people use now. And I think we all come into this world as these like fresh daisies with no attachments to anything like what you're talking about. And then it's almost like we get programmed to believe so many things throughout our lifetime and our childhood. And then if you're lucky enough, I think you get to a certain age where you go, wait a second, do I believe that? And you start asking the questions, or some people do it their entire lives. But that's what I think you're saying is like these beliefs, these things, they're just things we attach to as some, basically some narrative that another human usually makes up. And we believe it to be so true. And we attach all of these like all this weight to it. So then when it doesn't work out the way we think, we either go back into control or we crumble. And it's just like there's no space for allowing and allowing for the creation, like you're talking about, or for the universe to do its work as we wanted it to when we first came to this world. And so just like learning to not attach to all that. It's like attaching to good and bad. Like we don't know. You don't know all the
Well,
time
not
if
only
things are good
that,
and
I
bad.
mean, people sometimes get rid of one belief and move into the another belief. So we can jump from belief to belief to belief to belief until our face falls off.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to because that's kind of what we're taught to
Well,
do.
and this is what we talked about last month about breaking up your routines,
Yeah.
switching up things that you do every single day routinely, because it's Virgo, it's habits and
Mhm.
routines.
Mhm.
And so that's what that, I mean, we're under that guise of that Virgo eclipse. So, I mean, we need to break up all the routine,
Mhm.
break up all the beliefs that you keep following and don't even realize you're following them.
Yeah.
And then that gives a opportunity for spirit to slip in and give you a little guidance.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when we go into the Libra new moon on the 21st of October, listen, that's unbelievable. Striving to reach an entirely new level of consciousness. Is that not exactly what we've been talking about?
Yeah.
Freeing oneself from the psychological assumptions of the dominant society like a snake shedding its skin. What
Mhm.
a metaphor. And that's rising and looking down on society from the way we've been getting involved in the fisticuffs of it. Shed the skin of society. That the skin of the mob psychology, the arguments, the frustration, the shadows of everybody. And that's how you're going to see through the delusions and the impatient demand for radical restructuring of society, which is exactly what we're got to go through. We need to go through this. It's ugly because we hate the immorality of the leadership that's doing it, but who was going to do it? It took an immoral person to get his shit started.
Well, it's like anything, right? We always say this on this podcast, but we don't change without pain, I don't believe, as humans. And that's why you hear, with addiction based models or anything, like you have to hit rock bottom before anything is probably going to change or you're going to do something different. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. But to your point of needing to let go of the like mob mentality, I think people are so tired of the fighting. Like, even though it's still
Right.
happening, I am seeing a lot of narrative around that as well of people just being like, oh my God, can we stop for a second? Like, it's exhausting, And I think so many of us have been feeling that for so long. And also, we're seeing, like, it wasn't really it's not necessarily good anywhere we look in our leadership right now. And so, you can kind of, like, go, "Okay, well, we have to restructure." We needed this all to hit the fan the way it is. I think we needed it to get as bad as it was or is to then go, "How are we gonna rebuild it, and how do we stop turning on each other?" Because our only option right now is to stop that. And I think that is slowly but surely starting to become more of the narrative.
Well, I don't think that we even need to get into how we're going to rebuild it. It's not,
We're
it's,
not there yet.
we're not there. And so you're projecting into your idea of what it could be,
Right.
which is a belief. So we can't project. Pluto is change with pain.
Mm,
That's the point of Pluto. It spent 6 months underground and 6 months above ground. So when it brings up above ground, all of the underground shadow issues now become fully aware of. It
mhm,
brings it up.
mhm,
You can't lie in Pluto because it's going to expose it. So it exposes all of that. And so we're being exposed to the collective and the social structure that we built for 240 years. That was wrong way of humanity. And we're going to that Aquarian age comes in. So we we have an insight into the Aquarian age that we can discuss if you're on equal footing with somebody, but you're not going to debate how it's going to be
mhm.
because it's going to be greater than you know.
Right.
And so seeing through the collective delusions, impatient demand for a radical restructuring of society. So yeah, we're all impatient. We all wanted it over with yesterday,
We all
but
want
that's the
instant
point.
gratification and the quick fix. And it's
Well,
just not
especially
gonna
us
happen.
boomers.
Yeah.
Most certainly, this is why it's a greater struggle for us boomers. I mean, we're the ones that discovered instant gratification.
Mhm.
Credit cards, black and white TV turned to color. Oh, I want that.
Right.
And I want it now, even if I can't afford it. Give me a credit card.
Right, and it's only gotten worse.
Yes. And so we have to learn that we attract relationships as a mirror of who we are internally to correct belief of lack and disharmony in ourselves. So, in other words, when we look at society, is this disharmony and this psychology? Well, it's in us. We've participated in before. It resides in us. It's just like I've always tell clients, look, you can't see it in somebody else unless it's in you to see.
You spot it, you got it. That's
You
what
got it.
Yeah.
And so when we're bantering about the social problems and all, well, those problems rely on us, and we're
Mhm.
not to fix it. It's not ours to fix. That's the problem. And that's how you come up with a belief and an attitude and a perspective that's an error. There's
So,
nothing to fix.
what is it then to stop participating?
It's not necessarily stop participating. Is it in you have to understand that it's a reflection that you can find inside of you and
Mhm.
make the correction inside of you.
I want to break this down for just a little bit because when I first started hearing you talk about the mirror thing, I was confused because we were talking about it in relation to dating, for instance. And I think you can apply that to this bigger scale thing too. But whenever I first heard the mirror kind of example or whatever you call that analogy, it was that I thought, let's say you were saying, well, this emotionally unavailable person that you're dating is reflecting all that back to you or whatever. So I thought to myself, well, I'm not an asshole like he is, or I'm not like I would start comparing, you know what I mean? Like I would just compare the qualities that I was not working well with and think, how is the mirror thing true? We're nothing alike. But was what was actually being mirrored to me was that the way that person was treating me was actually how I was treating myself too. And there wasn't a
Yeah,
higher belief system that I deserved to be treated any differently because it was how I would treat myself on the day to day. Like he wasn't
yeah.
available to me. Well, was I available to myself? No. And those were the things that I learned. And so I think of that in this place when you're talking about it here. Because I think we all want to go, I'm not like them. I'm nothing like that. But like what is it? What in their behavior is it showing you about you? And especially if you're triggered or reactive or all that stuff, like it's definitely mirroring something to you to learn about yourself. And that always helps me, that like break down a little bit, just so you're not totally going, oh well, I'm exactly like that person. So this analogy doesn't make any sense for me. That's not what this is.
Well, look, Libra is relationships externally, physically, right? But
Yes.
it's also the divine relationship, the relationship between your soul and your ego. And so, how much do you object, or what you were just saying? How much do you reject the soul,
Mm,
just like you reject the physical?
right.
So I would say to you that be careful calling him an asshole, because then you got to say, where am I an asshole? And you
Right.
may not be an asshole in that physical relationship, but you could be an asshole to your soul.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was being an asshole to my soul. It was like I wasn't even ever acknowledging that I had a soul. Do you know what I mean? There was
Right.
no, like, talk about abandonment. There was so much self abandonment happening.
Right. Well, but that's why we're down here. So we can
Yeah.
discover that abandonment and
Right.
discover those conflicts. Um, And so we're always looking at the disharmony in ourselves, even from a social standpoint. So we've got to learn social equality and learn to listen to others to establish their needs from their reality as it exists for them, not from ours. And that's how you just hold the space for other people, because that's their belief. So the energy pattern for this Libra new moon is actually a T square,
Okay.
which is a Pluto squares the new moon and Jupiter squares the new moon as they're in opposition to each other. Jupiter's about expansion. Pluto is about, you know, re- bringing stuff to the forefront and uh, transformation. And
Okay.
so we've got to learn the release point is in a T square, is the open ends like a three-legged table. So the leg that's missing is called the release point, which is Capricorn. So it's suggesting the way forward is through structure, discipline, responsibility, and boundaries.
Because that's Capricorn. That
Yeah.
and okay.
And so it's time to release unhealthy patterns of control and dependency.
Okay.
And of course, the emotional growth is Jupiter pushes for expansion. Pluto requires deep transformation first. So there it is. That's the bottom line. We want to expand as a society, as a culture, as a country, as a
Mm,
people.
mhm.
We've got to go through the transformational process to get to where we want to go.
It's so hard when you're in that or when it's coming up, like, it's in front of you to go, "Okay, yeah, let me sign up for that." That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
But I will say when I have gone through Pluto, transits in other areas of my life, now what I'm seeing on the other side of it, I know there is no way that I could have gotten to where I am now without having to go down in and excavate basically and like clean out all the things that were unnecessary or misaligned and all of that stuff. And when you're sitting on the other side of it, it's much easier to go, "Oh yeah, that was so worth it." But it
Yeah.
is truly, and it's something that can't be sidestepped, which I think is what we've been trying to do the last couple years. And now it's like, yeah, no, that was cute, guys, but the only way out is through.
See, that's why we call Pluto heaven and hell,
Yes,
because
that
hell is the de evolutionary process and heaven is the evolutionary process.
makes so much
So
sense.
we've got to get to that midpoint
Hmm.
to now go into an evolutionary process. So
Hmm.
we're still in a de-evolutionary process, and it is painful. You're letting go, but it's painful because you never forget pain.
Ever.
So a lesson with comes with pain,
Hmm.
you never forget.
Yep.
See, Uranus is the planet that changed without pain. You don't have any pain with Uranus. It's just sudden, unexpected change.
Okay. So it's Pluto.
You're you're just breaking free from a reality that you constructed that no longer serves you.
Mm,
And so that's pretty simple. But when you come to a Pluto, I mean, you're attacking stuff that you didn't even know you had,
yeah.
problems that you were holding inside that you didn't even know was there.
They're coming to your awareness too.
Yes.
With Pluto moving into Aquarius, would it be helpful for people to go look at the house they have Aquarius in and kind of look at the theme there?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where you are on the cutting edge of moving forward.
Mhm.
So I mean, it just gives you more information. Yes, certainly.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Because that's where they've got to change to get in alignment with where we're all headed.
Mhm.
That's the place they're going to have to go through the greatest amount of de-evolution and evolution.
Of course, mine's in the 10th house, so I'm like, "Oh, Jesus. Good God.
And you know what I told you about
I
your
already
career.
know. I know. If for anyone listening that doesn't know, 10th house is your public facing house and your career and all of that. So I just want to stay in hiding.
Yeah, right. You got no shot at staying right. None.
Oh, fine. Oh God. Well, there's a lot going on as usual, but I like the way you presented it this month because just as it's a necessary path and like we're not going to be able to sidestep it like we said. We have to just walk through it. I think that maybe we're getting into a little more acceptance of that or some of the people that I've seen are because it's been going on for so long now and I think it's only gotten deeper and it's not just going to it's not a thing where we snap our fingers and this goes back to quote unquote normal, which you've been saying for years.
Well, I'm a big TikTok.
I
So
know.
I have never ever it is so astounding to me how many people are coming on that's channelers, that's intuitives, that's aware of uh physics, and
Mhm.
the quantum reality, it's like I'm just blown away by it. So it's so many people are rising in consciousness to take on to these Aquarian truths.
Mhm.
So it's happening already.
Yeah.
We're all raising the level of consciousness, and it's silent. You don't know it's occurring, but it is occurring.
Oh, I agree. I mean, even though, like, I know pop astrology isn't, like, your favorite, but even the fact that, like, that kinda stuff is so openly talked about and discussed now on such a universal level. I mean, even if you don't believe in astrology, I don't think you can escape astrology right now. It's out there, you know? So,
Oh, guess who rules astrology?
Aquarius?
Aquarius.
Yeah, that way well, it is
So
front and
you know
center.
that's the way it is for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm an astrologer all my life and have to move between the cracks to not be seen. And now all of a sudden it's
It's just
becoming
there.
everywhere
It's
and it's
everywhere.
totally acceptable.
Yep, it's
Oh
so
Lordy.
true. Yeah, you were like
Well,
the
I
weirdo
chose
back
it.
in the day, and now it's like the norm.
Yeah.
So interesting. Well, if you
I
are
mean,
interested go ahead.
when people ask me what I am, I do I'm a master astrologer.
Yeah.
And they don't even flinch anymore.
No, I'm sure back in the day they were like, "Oh, okay." I mean,
Oh
I
yeah. Oh
remember doing
geez. Can you imagine in corporate America you had to be a slinky?
oh, yeah. I mean, I
You had to
remember
slink
even when we
around.
met feeling like, "Oh, no, I've never had this done. This is so exciting and interesting and new and out of the box." And that was
Oh
in,
yeah.
like, 2017 or 2018. Must have been
Yeah.
2018 because that's when this podcast started, but yeah, it's come a long way, so, anyway, if someone wants to do a reading with you personally, where would they find you, Marv?
Marvin at astromarv.com.
As always, I always put that in the description of this podcast for you guys. I'll also put Marv's website if you want to go check that out. He also does hypnosis if that is something you are interested in. It's a great another form of healing modality. So go check all of that out. And we'll be back next month for Scorpio season, I guess. Is that right? Yeah, Scorpio
Oh,
season.
that
Spooky.
ought to be fun.
Yeah, you never know what Scorpio season will bring.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Oh boy. Okay, well that's interesting. Let's just enjoy this Libra energy while we can.
Yeah, just leave it till next month.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mar, for being here. And thank you guys so much for listening.